Y'all, the wildest thing just happened to me that I cannot explain aside from maybe ableism, and I had to share it with you all. So I just came back from Disneyland. You can probably tell. And my dog was staying at a daycare while I was at the park. After a certain time of day, their front door is locked. It was already locked when we arrived, but there were three people sitting in the lobby area waiting for their dogs as well. So usually there's like a doorbell thing that you push and it calls and they'll come and buzz you in if nobody's there. But sometimes if there's situations going on in the back with one of the dogs, they might take a while. So, you would figure, there's three people sitting right there immediately behind the door. That's no problem. You can be let in by one of them. That is not what happened. What happened is that after sitting there waiting for the ringing for a few minutes, I noticed there were people inside doing absolutely nothing but just looking at me through the door. So I started doing the next logical thing and banging on the door with my hand and going, "Hello? Can you let me in?" And I mean, it doesn't really get that cold in Southern California, but it was pretty chilly out. It was windy. It's like the decent thing to let a person inside if you were like, I don't even know, y'all. I'm just like so shocked by this. So, okay, so it gets better, right? So they're looking at me as I'm continuing to go, "Hello, can you please let me in?" They just stare at me again, nothing. All three of them made direct eye contact, looked away, did absolutely nothing. So, okay, there's a second door, there's one on each side. So I try again on the other side. I don't know, maybe they couldn't hear, maybe I don't know, I mean, I don't want to, make assumptions about their own hearing abilities or anything like that. That's fine. But like I said, they looked at me. I try again, and they look at me again, and this time they respond. They say, "We can't let you in. There's a rule." And I'm like, "What do you mean there's a rule? I've been coming here for a while. Nobody ever told me this was a rule that if I was in the lobby, then I'm not allowed to let anybody else in. I've never heard of this. But okay, maybe that's a thing." But we're still waiting for a while, several minutes after this thing where they claimed there's a rule. And I try again, and they say there's a rule. And I'm like, "Okay, but I'm disabled," because we've established they can hear me. And I say, "I'm disabled. I cannot keep standing here. And there are free chairs that are not in use available right next to you inside." And they said, "We cannot let you in. There's the rule." I said, "You have to. I am disabled. I cannot keep standing here." And they, again, rule. Okay, they are not coming off of this rule. And they don't give any craps that I am disabled. I keep telling them this. And I do think, would this be a different story if I had looked physically disabled at the time? Now, for Disneyland, I do have a mobility scooter that I use to get around. But it's got to be assembled and taken out of the car, and you need an accessible space. And, I thought this was just going to be a few minutes to pick up the dog. It's turning into a big saga at this point. And I had forgotten my cane since I had the mobility scooter, so I didn't look visibly disabled, and I just honestly don't know if they believed me. But every single time that I tried to say, "I cannot stand here, I am disabled, I need the chair that is available next to you," They kept saying there is a rule. So finally, the staff comes and lets me in. And I take a seat. And after I have a chance to recover from what had now been 10 full minutes, 10, I am not exaggerating, actual 10 minutes of me standing outside with 3 grown adults who heard me say and responded to the fact that I am disabled and cannot stand here for that long with there is a rule. I went and after I had a chance to sit and rest for a moment and recover, I got up, took a little peruse around, looked at all of the information sheets that were available, checked the door for any new signage. Where is this rule? I cannot find it anywhere. There's nothing anywhere visible. Nothing on the handout sheet things for people bringing their dog for the first time, or on the price sheets, or just nothing anywhere saying that there is a rule that you cannot let anybody in, or that only the staff can let people in, or that if the door is locked, you may not open it. Nothing. So when the person comes and brings my dog to me, she's super lovely. She loves Disney. She wanted to go to Pride Night herself. She's like, I like your outfit. She's so sweet. And I said, hey, real quick, I have a question. Is there a rule that you can't let somebody else in who's waiting at the door if y'all are taking a minute and working with the dogs in the back? And she says, no, what are you talking about? And I say, well, there were 3 grown adults sitting in here while I was waiting, and, took longer than usual. It doesn't usually take 10 minutes, but it did this time, and that's fine, I understand, but we were knocking and saying that I'm disabled, and it kept telling me that there was this rule. And she says, there is absolutely not a rule. They made that up, and that's extremely rude and awkward of them. I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I'm like, well, that's absolutely not your fault. It had nothing to do with you. I just wanted clarity for my own sanity. Is this a rule? But no, it's not a rule. They were just gaslighting me and wouldn't do it. And I don't know why, and I cannot figure it out. But I do really think the fact that even when I told them that I was disabled and I needed to sit in the empty chairs inside, and that I was in pain and had been waiting for too long, and they still would not let me in, is wildly ableist and ageist of they're making assumptions because of the way that I was presenting at the time, that I didn't have my mobility scooter or cane, and I don't look like elder, that they must have just thought I was lying. I don't know. I legitimately, does any of this make sense to anyone? Because I need to know. I am so baffled. This has to be one of the weirdest things that's ever happened to me, that a whole group of 3 people who didn't seem to know each other, they weren't all there together picking up one dog, just decided that this was a rule that they were all gonna have and enforce and just stick to, even in the light of being told that a disabled person needed to sit down. I cannot, y'all. Somebody explain this to me. I really don't know. Is this completely wild? Does something in here make any sense? Please let me know in the comments. I hope y'all are having a great weekend.